Today at Violinist Reacts, we are gonna listen and react to the best score and music nominees of the Game Awards 2022. Let's dive right into it. God of War Ragnarok. So I'm actually a huge fan of the God of War franchise. I played all the original PlayStation games from PS2 all the way until Ascension, even the PSP game. And I'm currently still playing God of War 2018 as of this recording. So I'm really excited to listen to the God of War Ragnarok soundtrack for the very first time. Let's go. Wow, right off the bat, this is very much signature Bear McCreary style. Low voices and epic drums. I love this kind of combination. Oh my god, I love that counterpoint being done by the horns. I love that the vocals are also doing a gruff, manly voice. I can almost imagine Kratos himself singing. Go big or go home. This is basically what this piece is saying. And they definitely went super big, super epic. You know, when it comes to music that is written for orchestra and choir, it's really designed to sound epic because orchestras are usually 100 musicians, 100 to 200, depends on the type of orchestra you're going for. And then large cinematic choirs like these are maybe ballpark 50 to 100 people. So right off the bat, you have almost 300 musicians in a studio, in a room, or in a stage, and that sight alone is already epic in itself. There's a reason why large choral and orchestral pieces like Beethoven's Ode to Joy are just so epic sounding. Oh my god, that modulation, that key change, and the sudden change of mood to a more somber-like tone. The impression it gives me is there's a moment of reflection. It's like Kratos looking back on everything he did from the past to the present. It's like his life is flashing in front of him in this musical section right here. And if you're very familiar with the God of War franchise, you know of all the terrible things that Kratos has done in the past. Wow. And then it becomes romantic style strings. Sudden change in mood. This is like reflecting the more mellow side of the game, which are more meditative or reflective. With this new section, I can literally hear Kratos just screaming to the top of his lungs, "I am the God of War!" I love how aggressively rhythmic it is, but at the same time, there's the mellow side with that female voice on the top. Oh my god, it's so good. can I say? That is as epic as they can get. Oh my god. Wow. It's got everything that really fits the tone of the game. It's epic. It's very March-like, very Nordic/Viking quality with the male vocals and the huge epic drums. But at the same time, it has a lot of these emotional moments where it mellows down a bit. It makes the violins shine a little more. It also gives the sopranos a bit more time to shine, but it ends with a bang. It's very, very, very much an emotional representation of Kratos himself, the god of war himself. A good word to really describe it. It's very brutal piece, and I love it. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Oh my god, I'm very excited for this. I have played and beat Xenoblade Chronicles, the original, and I enjoyed it so much. I love its music. So good. In fact, I'm a huge Yasunori Mitsuda fan, and he did such an excellent job with the Chrono series, and the original Xenoblade Chronicles is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. So I'm very excited to hear this for the first time. So here we go. Immediately violin. I'm hooked. 10 over 10. Yes! Oh my god, the signature Yasunori Mitsuda style, battle theme, JRPG style. Let's go. That sudden change of mood right away from hype to very mellow. It's like they're saying, wait a minute, don't get too hype yet. Here's some more emotional stuff for you to listen to, and then we'll go hype again. I love acoustic guitars with strings and piano. Oh my god, perfect combination. And that pause and sudden break and sudden entrance of every instrument, that is a very Xenoblade Chronicles move. I love it. It reminds me of the piece from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 called You Will Know Our Names, which I believe is also featured here in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in a different version. I love it when strings and piano do the same melody in unison. It's so powerful and it's very interesting because violin is a low attack instrument and piano is a high attack instrument. And what I mean by that is when you usually play the violin with a bow, it starts with a sudden fade in of the notes, as opposed to piano, the moment you press the piano, it's an immediate attack of the note and then it gradually fades out. It's like they're balancing each other out to make a solid melody. It sounds like a traditional Chinese or Japanese flute, or it could just be a traditional orchestral flute played in a more Asian style way. It sounds so good. This is a masterpiece. Yasunori Mitsuda has done it again. Elden Ring. So I'm quite familiar with the Elden Ring soundtrack, having covered at least 2 songs already from the soundtrack. I have not yet played the game, but I'm familiar with the Souls type of gameplay, so I know that the music of Elden Ring is meant to be brutal, atmospheric, and creepy in a way. Let's go. I love the presence of so much choir in the nominees, and if you watched my reaction video for the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet soundtrack, you know that there's also a huge presence of choral sound. Maybe 2022 is the year of the choir, and I'm loving it. I love how gothic style it is. I'm hearing a bit of harpsichord in the background, but I also feel like this is a style very comparable to Karl Orff's Carmina Burana, which is a piece of music I'm pretty sure you've heard in many, many types of commercials, probably. Interestingly enough, this is giving me a lot of Danny Elfman, Tim Burton vibes from their work in the original Batman movie. And maybe a bit of Nightmare Before Christmas. So much gothic vibes in here. That was so beautiful. It reminds me a lot of those compositions that has a lot of choir and orchestra, but in a more serious style, like you're participating in something big, in something grand, world-changing, universe-changing moment or something like that. I love it. Still watching? Award shows nominees and winners are always subject to the preferences of their panel of judges, and they change every year most of the time. I myself am no stranger to industry award shows, having been a recipient of awards in the Philippine film industry back in the day. So I do have some first-hand experience on how the winners are selected. But what about you? Which soundtrack do you believe deserves to win? Let us know in the comments. A Plague Tale Requiem. Let's go. Right off the bat, it's already giving me very Baroque / Renaissance vibes, with the vocal style sung in a manner similar to liturgical choral singing, sung in a more subtle manner like Gregorian chants, but in a soprano and alto voice, I would believe. Whoa! So much low bowed strings. I think that's a lot of cellos, viola da gamba, and oh my god, and that sudden drum. Epic. Okay, first of all, I think I heard a lot of sounds of folk-style bowed instruments. I probably heard a hurdy-gurdy or a nickel harpa somewhere there. They might be the real deal. They might be sampled libraries, but they sound so good and they sound so appropriate for this style of music. How could I tell that they are more of the folk-sounding style of bowed strings? If you listen carefully, the string instruments being used here, they have a bit more of a nasal quality to their sound. The folk bowed instruments like a viol or a viola da gamba, their instrument structures are built a little bit different than a traditional violin or a viola or a cello. They tend to have a more nasal sounding quality, and that's just how they sound from since the 1500s, I would say. This is a great example of a traditional modal choir music. We can hear the tenor and the bass voices doing some sort of steady counterpoint, and also the soprano and alto voices also doing their own steady counterpoint, but they're interacting and kind of moving in their own weaving melodies, but sung together, they still combine well. Such a satisfying harmony. Metal Hellsinger. Okay, being a huge metalhead myself, those distortion guitars, those overdrive guitars are really, really music to my ears. But at the same time, that female vocals, oh my god. What a very nice contrast combination. Reminds me a little bit of Evanescence or Nightwish, where the vocalist style is more of a mellow type of singing, accompanied by a very heavy metal accompaniment. This is one of my favorite combinations. There goes the screamo vocals, as expected. Yes, those kinds of breaks, very prog metal style. I love that. Oh wow, the overdrive guitars are mixed so well, and the kick drum thumping is just so satisfying. It's producing this very lush atmosphere with a beautiful vocal floating high above. I have such a high respect for singers who can sing in a screamo style like that, because I've actually seen some demonstrations of how to actually pull that off. It's some complicated combination of yodeling and finding your breaking point in your voice and staying in that level. It's kind of need to reach a zen level of accuracy and practice. So very high respect for screamo singers. And they need to practice that in a way that doesn't really harm their throat. So yeah. Oh my god, it feels so floaty in a good way. It feels like I'm floating and soaring in the air. Most of the time, in a traditional sense, metal music usually wants you to be grounded and rooted on land. But this one, it makes me feel floaty and soaring. It's very beautiful. Wow, okay. First of all, I totally understand now why this game is being dubbed Doom meets Guitar Hero, because I know the gameplay is rhythmic style, but the soundtrack, oh my god, with this song, it's such a wonderfully made gothic metal style with a bit of prog rock in between and a little bit of Castlevania vibes that I hear in it. I love it. By the way, I film my reactions live on my Twitch channel. So if you want to be one of the first to see that happen, come say hi. Here's some more Violinist Reacts videos for you to enjoy. Click here.